my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Okay, to everybody on Periscope and YouTube, hi for the first time or oh my gosh, I don't have my blooper button today. Hi for the first time or for the first time in a long time. And to Facebook, hi to you too. It's lovely being back. So today I am trying something absolutely brand new to me, and it is streaming to 3 platforms at the same time. And I sat here for, oh my gosh, what time is it now? It's 9:55 on Monday morning. I sat here for 20 minutes, scared to push the start streaming button. And in case you're wondering how I am doing it, if it's even working, I guess I will find that out afterwards. I am using OBS Studio with Restream, and I realized the only way I'm going to find out if it works or not is if I just push the button. So 20 minutes later, I actually pushed it. So if you don't know who I am Kim Sutton, the host of the Positive Productivity Podcast, which you can find on YouTube, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and a whole bunch of others. And you can find me on thekimsutton.com. And the Positive Productivity Podcast has been around for, where am I supposed to be looking? Whoa. Since October of, I'm sorry guys, this is going to be a learning experience for me, October of 2016. And the purpose behind Positive Productivity is to empower entrepreneurs to achieve and appreciate personal and professional success without burnout. And this is really important to me. Oh, maybe I am just supposed to be looking at the camera. Imagine that. Positive productivity is really important to me because in July of 2016, I found myself in a rock bottom place. I was sleep deprived. I had gone a year and a half sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night. Yes, a year and a half. Just don't try it. I was chasing all the wrong things. I was chasing income. I had no idea what my why was. I was saying yes to everybody, and to be flat out completely honest, which is how I am in every episode of the Positive Productivity Podcast, I was ready to kill myself. And I realized I couldn't do it. Besides having the podcast hadn't started yet. Let me back up a second. The podcast hadn't started yet. I am a mom of 5, and on this day, February 5th of 2018, I have 3-year-old twins, a 4-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 15-year-old. And I also have a husband that I love dearly. I have an amazing family, and I couldn't do it to them. But I also couldn't do it to me either as a Christian. I can't kill myself. So I laid in bed crying to myself. My husband had no idea where I was emotionally, and I prayed. And I'll get into that in a future video, but some major things happened, and I realized, okay, I need to go on. And I started interviewing people for the podcast, and I started sharing my own transparent stories, and I did a lot of personal and professional development. I should let you know that I had already decided I was doing the podcast. I knew that staying positive in business was really important to me. But not only was I planning on doing the Positive Productivity Podcast, I was also trying to launch another one, which I won't name because it's not important. But I was putting too much on my plate. And that's what so many entrepreneurs do when we're trying to chase income, rather than just slowing down and learning what our why is and the impact that we can make on the world. So a great friend, Jennifer, you may or may not watch this, she introduced me again, I should say, to the Law of Attraction. And I sat here at my desk and watched hours and hours of seminars. She also introduced me to Danielle Laporte via a gift certificate. And then I found Brendon Burchard. And what I realized, number one, was that I needed to stop being so dependent on chasing money. That income would come if I was really who I was truly supposed to be. And number two, that I needed to sleep. When I started sleeping, again, 6 to 8 hours a night, I will tell you that my productivity quadrupled. I went from taking 8 hours to do a simple task to 2, just because I had taken my sleep from 2 hours to 8. And that in itself was life changing. My income quadrupled, which blew my mind that I could be sleeping 4 times as much and making 4 times as much. And I was able to reclaim time with my family. My nights were mine, my weekends were mine, and I was happy. It took a while to get into a real place of security heart-wise. We were going through major financial struggles, and I had to admit, we still go through them. And if you want to hear more about that, you can go over to any of your favorite podcasting platforms or on YouTube. Actually, you can stay right here and subscribe. We still go through them. But positive productivity is not about perfection. It's about waking up every day, having passion for what we're doing, knowing why we're doing it, and knowing that regardless of how much we make, everything is going to be okay. And I will tell you from my firsthand experience, everything is always okay. We have had our utilities disconnected so many times in the course of the last 5 years since I started the businesses. There was even one time when the water was shut off, but it snowed outside that day. And my husband told my boys, okay, go outside and get snow and put it in the toilet so that mom can pee until the water is turned back on. And somehow on that day, everything did work itself out. And that's how it's been every other time as well. If you're struggling right now, just know that it's all going to be all right. The most important first thing that you can start doing is stop worrying. And I had to think that thought process to Gay Hendricks. I've started reading The Big Leap thanks to one of my mentors, Cliff Ravenscraft. He kept on talking about the book, and I started reading it last week. And I realized that worrying does not help anything. Your phone can be ringing off the hook with bill collectors. But if you can't do anything about it today, then stop worrying about it and start focusing all your creative energy and all your passions into what you love doing and what could be helping the world and what can help you tomorrow. Trust me, I know that if you are in the pit of despair and if you are ready to just say, bleep, I'm not going to cuss on here, I don't want to have to put an E on, but bleep it all, that it's going to be really hard to believe me when I say that the most important thing is to stop worrying. I know, I've been there. But it's really what you have to do. And start sleeping. Please start sleeping. If you go back and listen to episode 5 of the Positive Productivity Podcast, I take you into a journey about where sleep deprivation actually took me back in 2008. And I'll give you a brief overview right now. I started my first business in 2005, and that was the year that my littlest son was my middle son was born. And for the next 3 years, I was trying to build an online e-commerce business, and it was struggling. I was working a full-time job as an interior architect, and at night I would stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning filling all my orders, making all the die cuts I needed to, and just trying to make this business boom. But I will tell you, I had no passion for the business. And by January of 2008, I was suicidal. I was trying to figure out how I could drive my car off the road so that my husband at the time could get my life insurance payment and get the family out of all the debt that I had put upon us with the business. And in the end, I wound up in the mental hospital for 6 days. It wasn't good. They actually put me on a lot of medications because they weren't looking at what the core symptoms of me being sick were. One of them was sleep. You can't expect to go years with 2, 3, 4 hours a night and still be sane. It's just not possible. And the second part was that I had neglected my thyroid, and I've had hypothyroidism since birth, and I had been neglecting to take my medication. So put that all together, and you wind up with a 6-day hospital stay that costs more than a year of good education at college. And I don't want to see any of that happen to you. So that's why I'm doing positive productivity. I want to help entrepreneurs. No, I want to empower entrepreneurs to achieve and appreciate personal and professional success without burnout, so that if you are in any of the places that I've talked about today, or if you're feeling really down, that you can get yourself out, or if you're not there, that you never wind up there in the first place. So that's it for today. I will be back on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm committing to do this 3 days a week. I hope that this streaming and recording experience works for me so I don't have to do it again today, because this is damn scary. But if you enjoyed it, whatever listening platform you're on, because I can't see comments right now, I need to figure that out. If you could leave a comment below or next to, or give me some hearts or whatever it is, I would really so much appreciate it. So with that said, go forth and make it a positive and a productive day.